Guys, I'm back with another recap of what I ate last week, but I am going to begin, as always, with highlights from my TikTok algorithm that are food related. I will say that that's where I'm getting a lot of my recipes these days, or inspiration. Not that I really follow a lot of recipes anymore. I'm too lazy to do that. But I do like to take things that I see in recipes and apply them to other standard things that I make on my own. But this is something that came up in my work life, and I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about how people search for things, how people access information. You know, everybody used to Google. Now people are asking chatbots questions and maybe getting linked out to a site that way. Maybe not. Maybe just getting the information in the chat in the AI product directly. But someone brought up that they were talking to a college class, and a lot of the kids use TikTok now for search. And I mean, I do that too now. I search for stuff on TikTok, and I like to search when I want reviews for like a product or opinion or advice about things, or just to hear about other people's experience with something. I will use Google, but make sure that the search results are coming from Reddit. So you're basically searching Reddit and TikTok. I like hearing from the people. I like hearing what people are saying. I like reading a lot of different opinions and using that to influence my own opinion, but really come up with my own conclusions, I guess. But anyway, that is all to say that TikTok is a great place to see recipe videos that are really quick. YouTube is better for longer form if you want really in-depth food content. But if you want just like a quick overview of like how to make something, TikTok is great for that. Because, you know, it's time limited, so people are doing fast edits of things. So let me get started with the first thing that I want to talk about, kale Caesar pasta salad, which is a new New York Times recipe that I saw on TikTok. And I think I'm going to make it. It's rigatoni and kale and Caesar dressing. That's mostly mayonnaise, lemon juice, anchovies, Parmesan. And you massage it into the kale. You could also use baby kale. Mix it with a bunch of rigatoni or whatever pasta you want. And it's kind of like the perfect mix of a pasta salad and kale Caesar salad. It's kind of like the pasta is the croutons. In my mind, the pasta is the croutons. Rigatoni are kind of crouton shaped. So anyway, my sisters are coming to visit. I think they're both coming for Thanksgiving, and we love to make we always like to have a kale Caesar salad or some sort of Caesar salad with like really big, oversized, ripped croutons made from bread that's just ripped apart. So it's all craggy and, you know, some of the crumbs fall off, and then you have like the breadcrumbs throughout the salad itself. Yeah, actually, is there a breadcrumb component? Because a breadcrumb component in this kale Caesar pasta salad might also be really nice. Like a gremolata would be really nice with parsley and lemon zest. So that's my thought on that new recipe drop. My other update is, last episode I talked about a woman that I found on TikTok who talked about her method for making cakes that involved using cream instead of oil or butter. And I said I didn't know her name. Her name is Manuela Kjeilen. I don't know how to say her last name. Kjeilen. Kjeilen. Anyway, she makes cake on TikTok, and they're really beautiful and big and fluffy. I'd recommend her TikTok page if you like cake. Okay, the other thing that I want to talk about is a recipe I saw by someone named Chris Collins. I have no idea who he is. He's British, that's all I know about him. But he does a quadrant of puff pastry that is separated into quadrants with like slit folds. And then in one quadrant, he does an onion chutney, and the next he does a grated cheddar. And then in the last, he does a sausage mixture, and then he folds it all. The third or the fourth quadrant is left empty as the top, and then he folds it over itself, so there's a pastry layer in between each filling, and then it's a layered square that you bake off, and it puffs up. So I've always wanted to make sausage rolls. I've never actually made them. I mean, I guess I've made pigs in a blanket, but I've never made like a proper British sausage roll. And it's always when the holidays come around on my TikTok feed. And I think every year I want to make that, but I never do. But my sisters are coming, and, Thanksgiving is a good time to, make a food that you wouldn't normally make for yourself. So I'm thinking about making that, whatever it's called. And it also kind of reminds me of baked brie. I've always wanted to make a baked brie with raspberry jam and fold it up in the puff pastry. I've also wanted to make a nut roll. And I know that there are a lot of different definitions of nut roll. I just actually got a copy of Appalachian Journal, the latest issue of Appalachian Journal, which has a lot of old Appalachian recipes and like documentation of men making scrapple out in the woods. But there was a nut roll recipe in here, and I froze because I was like, I've just been thinking about making a nut roll. But this was like a pastry nut roll, like a baked good. So not what I was actually looking for. I'm thinking of you make a cheese mixture with like goat or cream cheese or whatever, and then you roll it up in nuts and you shape it with saran wrap or plastic, and then you can slice it and put it on crackers. That's what I want to make. So, I'm just thinking about snacks that I can have for when my sisters come over, and that's one of them. So here's another thing I want to talk about on TikTok. One of my fave TikTok people, Corey Larkin. I think that's how you say her name. Her first name is spelled Corre, Corey, I'm assuming. She basically, she makes a lot of old like Italian and French recipes from random cookbooks that she finds. And no shade, but she only makes recipes with like potatoes and cream. That's like all she makes. She makes more than that, but that's her focus. And she makes this recipe called Christmas potatoes, and it's thinly sliced potatoes layered with cheese. I don't even know if this recipe had cream in it, which is shocking for her, but it was just super bubbly and crusty and golden cheesy potatoes, and it looked really good. Okay, so I'm going to have to copy a link into my browser, so don't mind me for 1 second. So the last thing I want to talk about is actually not on TikTok. It's from Instagram, but it's actually from real life, and I think that's acceptable to talk about. So I've talked a lot about Ideals, which is it's a sandwich place in Durham. It has the best sandwiches around by far. They make their own bread. Anyway, they do a holiday menu for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you can pick up like pre-made cookies and breakfast and things that you can bake off, large format spreads for family. And they're Italian, so they do like a 7 fishes type seafood menu, or like more meat-based things. I wanted to read you the menu because I think, I don't know if I'll actually make anything from this, but it does really inspire what I want to make for the holidays. And I just think it's nice. Okay, so let's see. This is from their 2024 holiday menu. So first of all, they have cookies. So they have brown butter chocolate chip cookies, a dozen for $22. I guess that's kind of expensive. They have an Italian cookie tray, which includes rainbow cookies, assorted butter cookies and brownies. It's an 18-inch tray for $48 or a 12-inch box for $28. I mean, I don't know. That's a pretty good deal for a tray, I think. And I love a rainbow cookie. I wish they would do a black and white cookie, a rainbow cookie, a black and white cookie, and brownies. That would be nice. Okay, so then they have bake your own breakfast, which are all frozen and ready to bake, which is a great idea. At least in growing up, we always did like a bake-off breakfast casserole for Christmas Day because otherwise you're cooking all day. So they have a malted vanilla cinnamon roll 4-pack for $18. That's kind of a lot for only 4 because if you have people over and you want to do this, like you're going to need to get 2 of those. And that's expensive for cinnamon rolls. Cheddar scallion biscuits, a 6-pack for $14. And then they have sausage rolls, 6-pack mini rolls, $14. Seafood, baked stuffed clams, a dozen of them for $28. And then they have a shrimp scampi, which is approximately 15 shrimp with a pound of dry pasta included for $60. That seems crazy. That seems $60 and the pasta isn't even cooked. I feel crazy. That I don't understand that one, to be honest. So their savory is the last menu. They have a beef and pork lasagna for $70. Does not say how many people it feeds. They have an eggplant rollatini for $50. They have a 3-cheese mac and with ham and breadcrumbs for $55. And then they have a classic cheddar mac and cheese with Ritz breadcrumbs for $40. And again, those do not have serving recommendations, serving size. I mean, great options though. I mean, the lasagna, $70, that's kind of a lot. I mean, if it's feeding 12 people, I guess, yeah, but how many people does it feed? If it's feeding like 4? So anyway, that's just, I'm seeing comments on this Instagram. Am I the only one that wasn't satisfied with their Thanksgiving pies? Both of mine were overdone. Ooh. Oh man, I have to log in to see the comments. Get out of here. That sucks. Yeah, I wonder if they have a pie menu. I really wanted to, August 2024, they did like a pop-up Italian dinner where you could sit down. It was $175 a person for some like really basic Italian food. Why am I talking poorly about this place? It's my favorite place to eat food. Anyway, I'm just looking and seeing what other people are doing. What I think I'm going to do, I mean, I don't know. Here's what I think I'm going to do. Every time my sisters come to visit, I always say, we need to go to Bolted Bread. You know, they always are winning awards. We need to go to Bolted Bread. We never do because we're never going to downtown Raleigh. I'm not trying to take people to downtown Raleigh. So I think I'm going to try and go Wednesday, maybe take off work, go Wednesday to pick up pastries from Bolted Bread so that when my sisters, they come in Wednesday evening. So Thursday morning, we'll probably be prepping some food for Thanksgiving and we'll have Bolted Bread pastries for the morning. That'll be nice. I mean, is it too heavy? Should I just do like yogurt and granola? But I don't know, just some pastries and some fruit. That would be nice. And yeah, I think we're going to deep fry turkey and then maybe make arancini. We made arancini last year. But you know, it's a good, if you already have a big fry pot of oil going with the turkey, and the turkey only takes like an hour to cook, less than that. I might as well throw some arancini in there. That's where we got the idea. Like, we have all this oil going. Let's make something else that you need a lot of oil. Because the arancini are rotund. So you need a deep oil to fry them in. So last year, one of my sisters came. That was the plan. But it rained. So we couldn't deep fry a turkey outside in the rain because it would have exploded. So, I mean, and I still have all that fry oil that we bought, but I ended up making arancini anyway. I had all the ingredients and fried them inside. They're great. So I watched about 6 hours. I watched every single YouTube video I could find about how to make arancini and the different types, and like the Sicilian type that are shaped like Mount Etna with the peak on them, and what the traditional fillings are, and yada yada. Um, there's also a really good live cam of an arancini shop in Italy that I like to watch. My sister found it one time on a live stream app, where you can watch like a bunch of different live streams at once. So I did a lot of research, found an Italian place, I think in northern Raleigh, like a little Italian grocery store, and made arancini. So I sort of like made up my own flavor based on traditional flavors. So I decided to do the Sicilian shape with with the pointed cone top. And then for the filling, I made a pork ragu, but then I also added mozzarella, and then I also added peas. But we had purple hull peas that we grew. And, the Italian thing is use what you grow, what's local to you and fresh. So instead of green peas, I used the purple hull peas. So those were nice. And it wasn't as intimidating or scary as I thought. They were a little bit difficult to bread and shape. Your hands get sticky and then you have to bread them. But I don't know if I could make them the night before. I don't know. I'll have to think. So I'm also thinking, I usually make, we go over to Brian's mom's house for Thanksgiving. And Brian's dad usually goes up to Boston. They do a Thanksgiving up there. They do like an Italian Thanksgiving, which we need to go to at some point. But let's see. It's just like Stouffer's like bagged stuffing that's made. So I try and make some own stuff on my own at home that I can bring over, but without being an asshole for making everything from scratch. I mean, it's a difficult, we've offered to take over the turkey duties. We have not yet been able to take over the sides. I would love to make all the sides, but one step at a time. So I try and make some sides on my own. Like I'll make milk bread rolls, or I made a side of purple hull peas last year. Thinking about making some cornbread, or the arancini. Yeah, I brought up arancini. We were all over at Brian's family's house because his Boston family was in town, and I brought up making arancini for Thanksgiving, and Brian's mom, had no idea what I was talking about. But of course, his entire Boston family knew what I was talking about. They're like, "Oh yeah, we order a 3 dozen arancini every year for Christmas and pick it up," and they. I was telling them what I stuffed mine with. I guess they do like a ground beef and pea flavor up there that they do. Ground beef and pea. Then they do like a mozzarella. I forget the flavors that they were talking about. But anyway, it was great listening to, his Boston family. His aunt really likes food. She always brings Mike's pastries, like the pistachio cookies and the cannoli and a few other Italian cookies. And she knows every place in Boston to get the best sandwich bread, the best Portuguese rolls, the best everything. So it's fun to listen to her talk about food and especially what she's making for the holidays. She does like a big Thanksgiving every year in the basement of her building, and the guy it's like her daughter's father-in-law who owns the building that she lives in. And I guess he was a DJ. And so the basement is full of his old records, and that's where they do the Thanksgiving dinner for everybody. Keep meaning to go there for Thanksgiving. That would be really fun. I like doing Thanksgiving around people who appreciate food, instead of making stuff out of a can, but I understand that it's economical, but if you have the means to go all out and cook from scratch for Thanksgiving. I mean, why not? When you have the time. But what else? Okay, so that was all I had, actually. And I'm already 20 minutes in and I haven't even started talking about what I ate. But I'm really excited about the holidays. So I'm getting carried away. Getting excited about holiday food. Okay. October 13th, 2025. It was a Monday. 7 a.m. Counterculture coffee with half and half made at home and a bowl of bran flakes with milk. 11 a.m. 2 cups of coffee with heavy cream and leftover baked rigatoni at the office. 4:30 p.m. a miniature sour or rainbow belt. 5:30 p.m. rotisserie chicken, romaine lettuce, pecorino romano, and creamy Caesar dressing made at home. 6:30 p.m. a Bluebell sundae cup and a miniature Hershey's milk chocolate bar. So I'm back at the office, and I guess there was some sort of meeting, and they had all this cream left over in the fridge. So I'm using some heavy cream in my coffee, my Keurig cup. And the office, receptionist is not the right word. The office assistant, the office manager, I don't know what her official title is, but she goes all out for holidays. She decorates for each holiday. She puts out candy. She throws like a themed party. So she put out glass coffins everywhere filled with candy. So I got a miniature sour rainbow belt. It was delicious. I also took a little miniature package of sour gummy bears. It was a brand I was unfamiliar with. Apparently they were made in Indonesia. And they were awful. And I put one in my mouth and threw them away. There are also mini toxic waste. They're like warheads, but a different brand called Toxic Waste. They're kind of gross. I tasted one and then I spit it out. And then I also took a miniature Hershey's milk chocolate bar for later. Debating whether or not to take a miniature Kit Kat bar or miniature milk chocolate bar. Ended up with the Hershey's milk chocolate bar, and I do not regret it. Got a rotisserie chicken from Whole Foods on the way home and made a quick chicken Caesar salad for dinner, which was nice. And I'm eating these Bluebell sundae cups. I don't know if I talked about them last episode. No, because this is my first night eating them. Disappointing. So I don't know why, but usually Bluebell ice cream is on sale at my grocery store, and I'll jump on it and buy it. They have not been on sale for a long, long time, and so I haven't been buying Bluebell ice cream as much. The sundae cup, however, the sundae cup package that comes in like a pack of 12 or whatever, little sundae cups. I mean, it's so wasteful and I hate it, but they were on sale and I was like, it's vanilla ice cream with chocolate sauce. And I thought, I like that. So it's okay. I mean, the portion control is what I need. It's just really vanilla. It's vanilla ice cream. The chocolate swirl is barely visible. It's like a ghost, and it's like a suggestion of a sauce. And if there is any sauce, it's at the bottom when you're already done with the ice cream, and then you're just eating sauce at the end. It's maybe for kids. It's kind of poorly done in my opinion. But I've been trying other ice cream flavors, buying other ice cream flavors from Brian that are on sale because, the Bluebell hasn't been on sale, and I'm a firm believer that you should only buy things on sale if you can, within reason. But, so I'll buy like the Tillamook. It's garbage. Bluebell is the best. And, I am a convert. I believe it now. It's for the price point. It is the creamiest, highest quality ice cream that you can get. It's not Ben and Jerry's, but it's very close and it's a lot cheaper. So that's my thought on that. Okay. October 14th, 2025. It was a Tuesday, 7 a.m. Counterculture coffee with half and half made at home. 8:30 a.m. bran flakes with milk. 11 a.m. Grilled Gouda and scrambled egg on olive oil toasted La Farm sourdough, and a glass of kilogram crimson iced tea made at home. 2 p.m. A handful of pecans and cashews. 4 p.m. A small pour of tabarine, colle, grimaldesco, montefalco di Sargratino. 6:30 p.m. Leftover rotisserie chicken, chicken tenders, carrots, peas, cabbage, and onion in a black pepper and garlic brown sauce over jasmine rice, made at home. 7:30 p.m. A Bluebell Sundae cup. Yeah, I made this grilled Gouda and scrambled egg sandwich super fast and shoved it into my mouth before our meeting, and then the person I was meeting with never showed up to the meeting. So that was an experience. I felt disgusting. It was like a hot, big sandwich, that I ate at 11 a.m. I was eating lunch at 11 a.m. Felt nasty for the rest of the day. But also I've been insatiably hungry, I think because it's cold. When it gets cold, I'm hungry all the time. And maybe that's like a false feeling that I have. I associate being cold with being hungry, and maybe I'm not actually hungry. And when I'm hot, I'm not hungry. So, okay. So I really like this like black pepper and garlic brown sauce that I made. I had the leftover rotisserie chicken. I only used the white meat for the Caesar salad that I made the previous night. So I had the dark meat left over for this like Chinese food, I would call it. And then I also had a pack of chicken tenders. So I cut those up and salted them with a little Shaoxing wine, a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of cornstarch, and let that marinate in the fridge. And then for the brown sauce, I'll use about a cup of homemade stock. And then depending on what type of soy sauce it is, I'll use 1/8 to 1/4 a cup of soy sauce. I'll add some oyster sauce, some sugar. I'll grate some fresh garlic in there. I'll use some garlic powder, some MSG. Sometimes I'll add chili pepper. I'll add a little dash of vinegar sometimes, or mirin, or both, just to balance it. And yeah, I'll flavor it with different things sometimes. Sometimes I'll do a spicy version, like a sweeter version, or like a black pepper version. I love like a black pepper shrimp or like a black pepper tofu. It's one of my favorite things to order at a restaurant with super soft tofu that's like fried in that puff, and it's puffed, and it's covered in black pepper. Yeah, I love a brown garlic sauce with black pepper in it. I also just like doing for a Chinese stir fried for dinner, like oil, and then you fry off cumin, hot chili flakes, and thinly sliced garlic. And that's like the flavor base. And then you add everything to that. And then, you'll finish with soy or a little bit of liquid to make it into a sauce, or a little bit of stock. I like that a lot. I was making a lot last year. It's super simple, but I have a lot more stock around, so I'll do like a full-blown like gravy. I'm basically making a Chinese gravy. And yeah, I thicken it up with cornstarch at the end, like a cornstarch slurry. What else? I never measure. I mean, I do make it in a measuring cup, but it's really just like feeling and eyeballing things. I feel like there are other things that I add to it sometimes that I wanted to point out. And the oil component, like the first thing I do is heat up like a decent amount of oil, because the sauce is missing that. It really needs that fat to bring all the flavors together. And then I'll sometimes fry garlic in that oil, really, get it really hot, put the chicken in, fry that off, and then add the vegetables just to get them softening a little bit. Pour the sauce in to stop everything from sticking and burning. And and then the cornstarch slurry, and everything sort of comes together just as the vegetables soften just enough. Then you turn it off, serve it over the rice. Like you're working on a wok, except I'm working in a giant Dutch oven on my electric stove, but it works all the same. I'm a firm believer that you can cook anything on electric stove, despite what big gas stove wants you to think. Okay, October 15th, 2025, it was a Wednesday. 7 a.m., counterculture coffee with half and half made at home and a bowl of bran flakes with milk. 11 a.m., 2 cups of coffee with heavy cream and leftover baked rigatoni at the office. 6 p.m., French onion soup with olive oil toasted La Farm sourdough and Swiss cheese and romaine lettuce with pecorino romano and creamy Caesar dressing made at home. 7:30 p.m., a Blue Bell Sundae cup. So really sad day at the office. All the Halloween candy was gone except for the toxic waste. So I'm Halloween candyless. And I rushed home to start caramelizing onions, which takes forever, as you probably know. I used to caramelize onions twice a week at a French patisserie that I worked at because I was in charge of all the savory. And I would, that was like any quiche that we made, that we would add garlic confit and caramelized onions to it, always. So full disclosure, I saw a TikTok video. So my whole TikTok algorithm was just Jacques Pepin clips for like 2 weeks. And I grew up watching him with my mom. I love his cooking. These days he's super old, still cooking, but just like is opening cans and making like super simple meals. Mostly for like 1 or 2 people. I mean, it's useful. The people, the age demographic of older folks who are probably cooking for themselves. It's great that he's doing that content for them. Anyway, he was making French onion soup, and I just thought, I love French onion soup. Why don't I make it? And I ordered some vintage French onion soup crocks on eBay, 5 of them, a set of 5. They're the little classic brown ones with the ears to hold on the side. I didn't get the one with the handle. And yeah, he submerged the bread in the soup and baked it that way. I think I would rather have a sturdier, like crostini to hold and dip as I please, as I eat the soup. So before I went ahead and made it, I thought, I don't like that method of just like putting it in the broth and baking it off and just having it be a soggy mess. So of course, here's a test of the theory. I went on TikTok and Googled French onion soup and watched a quick video of Martha Stewart making it. And that was more up my alley. And I said, I'm going to do that method. So I didn't quite follow either of their recipes, but here's what I did. I caramelized onions. I had 2 onions. I caramelized them. And I added a little bit of garlic at the end and caramelized that. Some really like just cloves like smashed and cut in half, like bigger pieces so they didn't burn. Added a little bit of thyme and a little bit of flour to thicken. And then I didn't have any like sherry or anything, but I do have that super dry red wine that I've been using for my sauces, which has been wonderful. So I deglazed with a little bit of red wine. I added some butter in there. I added about 1.5 quarts of chicken stock, tons of black pepper, and I added a little bit of chicken bouillon at the end. And by the end of it, it was like super sweet and flavorful. And I had some La Farm sourdough that I cut into thirds. And then I balanced 2/3, 2 pieces over the top of each crock. And then I put a smaller piece on top of that. So it was like a little tower. It had like a really pleasing dome shaped. And then I had pre-sliced Swiss cheese. I couldn't really find like a good French cheese that I wanted, so I just bought like a Tillamook. The Tillamook sliced cheese was like on a special, so I got those. I got like a cheddar and a Swiss. 2 slices of Swiss cheese over that. One of them rotated 90 degrees so that all the edge, like a star, is formed like a Star of David with all the corners pointing out for maximum coverage. And then I broiled that, and it kind of like curled up like a nun's cap, or like a nun's, I don't know. It was really pretty, and I loved it. And I did make a note to talk about my herb garden. It was super rich. I wish I'd caramelized the onions a little bit more. I'm actually going to make it again tonight. And now that I'm working from home today, I'm going to have proper time to actually caramelize the onions and not rush. And I did want to mention, I just got the thyme that I used for my herb garden. I have like an herb bed. I have 2. One's an annual, one's a perennial. So my perennial herb garden, I have 1 marjoram plant, 2 Greek oregano plants, 2 Italian oregano plants, 4 thyme plants, which is English thyme, and 4 rosemary plants. And they're going strong, and it's really nice because I just have all the herbs I need for Thanksgiving. I never really have to think about it or like fight with people at the store for the last tiny pack of herbs. It's like $6. So yeah, that's French onion soup. I'm going to make it again tonight. And, I guess I don't have wine for that, which I didn't think about, but it'll be okay. Okay. October 16th, 2025. It was a Thursday, 6:30 a.m. Counterculture coffee with half and half made at home. 9:30 a.m. Leftover chicken and vegetables in brown sauce over rice. 1 p.m. Grilled Gouda and sriracha on olive oil toasted La Farm sourdough made at home and leftover iced tea. 6 p.m. Chicken soup with tomato paste, carrots, celery, onion, cannellini beans, golden pinto potatoes, pecorino romano, and jasmine rice made at home. Okay. So, nothing extraordinary about this day. I will say that I am waking up super early even when I'm at home to drink coffee, because I pre-make the coffee at night, pre-fill the machine. I have a Mocha Master. I don't want to grind the coffee at night. I want it to be fresh, but what can you do? So I pre-make it, fill the water, fill the grounds. And then in the morning, Brian, when he gets up super early, just flips it on. And then it stays hot, but only for a certain amount of time. So I have to get up and drink it, which is actually a good way to get me out of bed. The promise of warm coffee and having to drink it within a certain time period. So that's what's going on there. Let me talk about this chicken soup that I made. I made chicken soup. I made a fresh stock, had it on. I usually do an overnight stock, but this was just a 1-day stock with a whole chicken, a Bell & Evans chicken that was on sale. They do them 50% off sometimes, like you have to use it that day. But if you look at the expiration date, it's usually sometimes it's not for a few days, and you can freeze it by that date too. So that's what I do. And then I have like 50% off really nice chickens in my freezer for stock at all times. And this chicken was getting a little bit old, so I was like, I need to use this. Add a little bit of tomato paste to get like a nice sort of reddish broth. And then, carrots, onion, celery, and that, and some olive oil, and toasted that all down a little bit. Not toasted, like sauteed, softened it a little bit. Cannellini beans, potatoes. I added rice at the end, and I avoid putting pasta in soup because it absorbs all the broth. This was already cooked rice, so I thought it's not going to absorb that much water. But I only do a 1-to-1 ratio with my rice, so it is on the drier side. 1-to-1 water to rice. So it absorbs so much liquid and turned into like what I would describe as an Italian congee. So we basically had Italian congee, Italian porridge, and it was good. And didn't have any ice cream this night, which is a miracle. But we ended up going over to see Brian's family from Boston, who I was talking about, and I thought that they were going to have Mike's pastries because they always bring that when they visit. They left 2 boxes of Mike's pastries in Boston in a car. So sad. So anyway, got home late and didn't eat ice cream, which is wonderful. Okay. October 17th, 2025. It was a Friday. 6:30 a.m. counterculture coffee with half and half made at home. 9 a.m. grilled Gouda and sriracha on olive oil toasted La Farm sourdough made at home. 2 p.m. leftover chicken soup and crispy garlic. 3:30 p.m. a bowl of bran flakes with milk. 6 p.m. leftover chicken soup with green peas and pecorino romano. 8 p.m. buttered popcorn with chili lime seasoning made at home. Love eating a grilled cheese for breakfast. And so, yeah, this leftover chicken soup, which was congee, especially for leftovers. I mean, there's no broth to be had. It was so congee-like, it reminded me of the Uncle Mike's congee that I make, that I added the Asian pre-fried crispy garlic on top, which was excellent. They had it again for dinner. Added some green peas because it sort of reminded me of like a risotto as well, since it's Italian. Added some pecorino romano. It was sort of the texture of clam chowder. And then I only used one like fairly medium-sized potato in there. I cut it up into really small pieces, and in the process of cooking and reheating multiple times, the potato got so soft and it just fell apart in your mouth, and it was in these like half-inch pieces, and it really reminded me of the little potato pieces that you would find in a clam chowder, and like a New England clam chowder, which anytime I went out to a restaurant with my grandparents, I would get a bowl of clam chowder, because we always, I was visiting them in Massachusetts. We'd always go to Legal Seafoods, or like, I don't know. There's this old restaurant, Christo's. We'd go to like Greek restaurants with the Greek pizza, like the really thin, buttery Greek pizza crust. Divine. Ernie's was a place we would go. I think near Plymouth. They lived in Plymouth, Mass. Christo's closed down. It was like a big banquet hall. Like, it was like really big and gorgeous, kind of like round, and had like a huge round bar and open windows. And anyway, I would always get a bowl of clam chowder. It's my favorite. And then I made some buttered popcorn at night. I was still a little bit hungry. Yeah, I was super hungry this day. I mean, I ate a ton of food. I ate 3 meals, then dinner, then popcorn, with some Trader Joe's chili lime seasoning, which I love. I got it for Christmas last year. Okay. I think I mentioned I don't live within a decent driving distance of a Trader Joe's. They're all like at least an hour away from me, or like an hour. And the one actually that I work near got flooded in Hurricane Chantal that flooded Chapel Hill. So I don't know, maybe it's back open. I should go there since I work right next to it, but it's also like a snack store. It's not really a grocery store. Okay, October 18th, 2025. It was a Saturday. Counterculture coffee with half and half, 2 sunny eggs, maple breakfast sausage links, fried potatoes with chili lime seasoning, and arugula made at home. 2:30 p.m. Chicken nuggets and french fries from a McDonald's in Raleigh. 5:30 p.m. Lemon and cookie dough flavored Bluebell ice creams. 6:30 p.m. leftover chicken soup. Okay, so I made a big breakfast that morning. Woke up early. Well, I woke up at 8 to make this breakfast. It takes a long time to make breakfast potatoes. It takes like an hour. So I cut them up real small. Well, first I have to wash them because we have our own potatoes and we're storing them and they're covered in dirt. You have to, keep the dirt on them for storage. Clean the potatoes, cut them up. I didn't peel them. Cut them up into, and these are the golden pinto potatoes, which I'm using because they are not good storage potatoes. The other varieties we have are better for storage. These are starting to eye, so I'm really trying to get through them. They're delicious, and I wish they did store better because that would be the only potato I grew if they stored better. And they're like golden yellow on the inside, and just they get really creamy. And they're lovely. They're like a 2-tone. They're like purple and tan. They have like a marbled, like they look like a cow, like color wise or pattern wise. So cut them up into really small pieces, boiled them for like 7 minutes with salt. And then I put them in a bunch of oil and fried them. Scoop them out of the oil into a metal bowl with a bunch of salt and chili lime seasoning and toss them around. And then just had some plain arugula next to that, which, I used to dress arugula for breakfast, but there's so much else going on that it kind of can like take the other things, like the yolk that's spilling out of your eggs, like gets on the arugula, and the grease from the sausage, and like some of the grease and seasoning from the potatoes, like the arugula kind of absorbs all that. And I love arugula on a breakfast place because it can take heat. Like you can eat arugula warm as well, and it can wilt a little bit and get that fat on it, and it's not gross like a lettuce might be to you. I mean, warm lettuce is good too. So that was a good breakfast. And then we went on a really long hike. We were starving. Of course, we ended up in northern Raleigh. This is the problem of our lives. I don't know how we always end up in North Raleigh, but we always are in North Raleigh and we're hungry. We always go to Sassoul, but we're like, we need to try something else. Ended up going to McDonald's because I was dying of thirst from this hike. It was warmer than I thought it would be. And I just thought, I want a Diet Coke from McDonald's. That's all I care about. And then we can eat wherever you want. But let's just go to McDonald's and get a Diet Coke. They had the best Diet Coke. It tastes like Coke Zero with fresh lemon squeezed in it. I know they have a proprietary blend, or at least I've heard that. It's the most delicious Coke you can get on the planet. So anyway, went there and Brian ordered a like McChicken sandwich. We ended up getting the wrong order, which was fine because we got free chicken nuggets and free French fries. So that worked out. Except Brian was mad that we ate McDonald's instead of something else. And I thought, well, where else are we going to go? I mean, it's just fast food in Raleigh and like, I don't know. Anyway, went to a Food Lion in North Raleigh and found new Bluebell flavors. The Bluebell ice cream was not on sale there, but they did have Bluebell flavors that I don't have local to me. I've never seen just a plain chocolate chip cookie dough flavored Bluebell ice cream. So I immediately got that even though it wasn't on sale. And then I found the rare and elusive lemon flavored Bluebell. So I Googled this because I'm like, I have not seen this online. When you go to the Bluebell website, they list their like year-round flavors and they list their seasonal rotational flavors. The lemon is on neither of these pages, but if you Google lemon Bluebell ice cream, their website page does come up. But there's nowhere on the website where you can get a comprehensive list of all the products. It's just like you have to know products /lemon, which is super frustrating to me because I'm like, what other flavors have pages that aren't available in list form? Like there have to be other flavors that are available that they're not talking about, like this lemon flavor and so I went on Reddit, my food product source of opinions. People say it's super rare, super hard to find. So yeah, I don't know. The whole Bluebell thing is super frustrating. Somebody on Reddit made a huge spreadsheet with every flavor ever made. It's not up to date. Like their spreadsheet, for instance, says that the lemon is unavailable, but it's not true. Like, so I need some accurate information, and this is not it. I distrust Bluebell in a way after this experience. Anyway, I was Googling the lemon flavor and here's a problem. Every time I Google a product that I want to get opinions, like a rose that smells really nice, or like a snack, or like whatever, without fail, there's someone on Reddit being like, I'm looking for this for my dying wife. She's dying of brain cancer, and the only thing she wants is someone was in one of the Bluebell lemon ice cream threads saying, my friend is dying of liver cancer. They have 3 weeks to live. All they want is lemon flavored Bluebell. And so you think it must be the best flavor. I'm so glad I got this. It was okay. It's super yellow, which is fun. super bright yellow, like golden bright yellow, bright golden yellow. And it was okay. It's got a good texture. It's supposed to be the flavor of lemon custard. Um, I don't know if I would buy it again, but it's fun. I wish it was tart. I wish it was more tart. It's a little too sweet. It tastes like the limoncello flavored LaCroix. It tastes like lemon and powdered sugar. I don't want it to be a sorbet necessarily, but I want it to be a little more tart to offset the sweet. That's my feedback. Also, my feedback, Bluebell, get it together and have a comprehensive list of flavors that are available, even if it's not nationally. Because every grocery store, I mean, now I want to drive around to every grocery store in the state and see what other flavors I can find that they're not listing on their website. And that, because it's like, I don't know, like I never would have known that they had a lemon flavor until I saw it in the wild, because I don't know, I can't just guess URLs. Because now I know that you can do like bluebell.com/products/lemon or whatever other flavor you want to try out. So, I mean, I'm going to just like start typing in flavors and see what pages I stumble upon, I guess. If anybody knows, I have a comprehensive list besides the spreadsheet that someone on Reddit made that is not totally accurate. Let me know. Actually, I could just type in the flavors that are on that spreadsheet into the URL and see what comes up. I've had my eye out for the cinnamon twist flavor. That's my next thing that I really want. Okay. We're almost done. October 19th, 2025, Sunday, 8 a.m. Counterculture coffee with half and half made at home, 12 p.m. Baked fusillotti with mozzarella, garlic ricotta, and sweet Italian sausage in red sauce made at home, 12:30 p.m. Snack mix, brie and grape compote on toast. Toast crackers is more like it. Sorry, let me just edit that real quick. Steak with A1 steak sauce. Green beans, a sweet roll with butter. Mixed greens with walnuts and Olive Garden Italian dressing. Lemon cake from Harris Teeter. A bottle of Modelo. A small pour of coffee with milk. And a Malibu rum, blue curacao, and pineapple juice cocktail made by Dolly at Brian's parents' house. Okay. So woke up early and made baked pasta so that we'd have lunch for the week, because I knew we had to go over to Brian's parents' house and hang out with the Boston family that was visiting. So got over there, and Brian's aunt Dolly was eating a snack mix that she gave me a cup of it. It was like those little, it was like Chex Mix, but it had Cheetos and like cheese covered like toast rounds and pretzels, and I just had a little bit of it, and it was really good. And then Brian's mom made like a huge spread with like olives and marinated artichokes and brie. And she made me a little bit of brie on a toast cracker with this, what I thought was a jam. I don't know what it was, but it tasted exactly like raisins, and it was nasty. I can't eat raisins. So some sort of grape product, I'm assuming. And it was like dry. I don't know if dry is the right word to describe a jelly, but it was a dry jelly. It was nasty. Okay, steak with A1 steak sauce. Brian cooked the steaks. Somehow I ended up with one that was well done, and everybody else had a rare steak. Had these like soft, really, in the South, everybody cooks their green beans real soft, and I'm finally getting used to it and enjoying it. So I had some real soft green beans, and then a sweet. It was like it was a dinner roll, but it was sweet, like what am I thinking of? Like a Hawaiian roll, but it wasn't a Hawaiian roll. Had some salad, and then Dolly bought a lemon cake from Harris Teeter because it was Brian's cousin's birthday and he requested a lemon cake. I usually like Harris Teeter cake. They do like a half cake Friday where you can buy a half cake for half off. Which I haven't had in a long time. Harris Teeter is overpriced in my opinion, so I don't go there. But this lemon cake was... It must be the weekend of like bright yellow artificial lemon flavor for me, because it was the same color yellow as the lemon ice cream that I got. and the same sort of fake yellow flavor, and it was too sweet, just like the lemon ice cream. I didn't even, this is the first time I haven't finished a piece of cake, maybe ever. It was too sweet, and I did not enjoy. Had a bottle of Modelo. I had a small cup of coffee to keep me warm on the porch. It was beautiful, breezy fall day, and it started to rain. And Dolly just decided to make cocktails, so she brought when she landed, she got a bottle of Malibu rum, blue curacao, and light pineapple juice cocktail cans from Dole, and made us these like super tropical vacation cocktails that were cloyingly sweet but very fun and bright blue. So that was fun. Dolly's drink of choice is Kahlua and soda, but not a lot of people in North Carolina are making Kahlua or have Kahlua behind the bar. So that's what she made. It was really fun. I love when Dolly visits. She and I watch all the same TV shows, and we both love Chili's. We talked about Chili's a lot. Her favorite restaurant that they all frequent in Boston is the 99, which I thought was interesting. I guess it's, it originated in Boston. We had a restaurant, the 99, growing up in the town I grew up in, but I don't think it was very good. But, oh, I heard that Chili's got rid of their Skillet Queso, which is my favorite, which is the reason why I go to Chili's. Their Skillet Queso. I guess they got rid of it. I sent a news article to my sisters last night in our group chat, and they started screaming. I can't believe that the last time we ate Skillet Queso, the last time we were at Chili's, we had no idea it was the last time we were eating it. At least I ate it with them. Super sad. I don't know if I'll go to Chili's again in protest. Like, that's the reason I go to Chili's. So Dolly had a recommendation. She said, get the chips to go. I make the queso at home. I mean, my sister and I have made the queso before. You can make like the Chili's Skillet Queso at home. People have figured out how to make it. So that's what I might do. Like, get the chips to go, because you need the chips. The chips are the best, and then make the queso at home. Anyway, that is the heartbreaking, shocking news of the year, I think. I'm hoping it's some sort of like fake story to get people to like make content about Chili's and how much they love the queso, and then they'll bring it back. I don't know why they got rid of the Skillet Queso. I mean, first they got rid of the chicken crispers. The original chicken crispers were in like a beer batter, like a fish and chips beer batter. I don't know why they got rid of it. I love Chili's. I love their new Nashville hot giant mozzarella sticks, but that are in like the shape of a knish. But they need to get it together and bring back the Skillet Queso, or I'm literally never going to Chili's again. I'm never going back. Get it together. Bye.